Hi guys, Mark here. I trust you're well. Out today for a little social walk with something that I've had for 48 hours now. Z6iii. Here it is with the 24-70 2.8 S-line lens. And I wanted to share my initial thoughts and who I feel this camera is for. A full disclaimer, this has been paid for with hard-earned pound notes. It's not a loan by Nikon or any of the shops or anything like that. I am a Nikon photographer. I have been for over 30 years and I own most of the Z-line cameras with two exceptions. So from the Z30 all the way through to the Z9, I own most of those cameras. So I'm embedded in the ecosystem. Why did I buy this? Well, I have a Z6iii and I mainly use that for low light and video work, and that's commercial video work that people are paying me to take those videos for them. And the reason why I use the Z6iii for that, it's about the sensor. The photo cells aren't crushed together like they are on the 7, 8 and 9. You've got the same physical space and you've only got 4 million pixels on here compared to 45 million pixels on the others. Therefore they're not crushed together, therefore you get a cleaner image and less noise, especially at low light and in your shadows. So it's great for astro, it's great for video in that context. But why did I go for the Z6iii? Well, it's slightly bigger. I've got massive great big hands and it encompasses certain elements from the 8 and the 9. So it has the top view display is slightly bigger. The buttons have been slightly moved. The play button is down the bottom right hand corner. The autofocus is better. Now you could argue that Nikon's autofocus system has been lacking over the years, and that's because Nikon was one of the last, if not the last, to the mirrorless full frame marketplace. So they were on catch up. This and the Z8 and the Z9 are up there with everybody else. What else do I like about this camera? Well, we've got the flippy screen like the ZF. Brilliant. And I expect it will come to the 7.2. Sorry, 7.3. But what I do like is the new updated menu system with the little switch on and switch off buttons, electronic buttons in the menu. So you could actually have a setting in the menu, for example auto ISO, and in the top level menu just turn it on. You don't have to drill down into the menu and set auto ISO on or whatever it is. You can just turn it on and have the settings that you use already logged into that menu. I love the fact, same with the Z8 and the Z9, when you go into portrait orientation, the whole screen, the menus, the view finder, same as the ZF as well, it goes into portrait orientation. Great for using touch screen focus and take, and that's one of my favorite functionalities actually on the Z series. Is I'm getting old and bending down, I turn on shutter delay ½ a second and I frame the shot and I touch the screen. It waits ½ a second, it focuses, then waits, and then takes the photograph. And I love that functionality. It allows me to capture angles and images that I'd never capture. Who's this camera for? It's for a working professional, but it's also for a serious enthusiast. It's for somebody that perhaps captures fast action. It also would be for astrophotography and videographers. Is it worth upgrading from a Z6iii to a Z6iii? If you have the money, yes. I would really recommend it. It took me 40 minutes with the Z5 to say, yes, this is worth migrating to. I can see the potential in that, and this is one of their first cameras. This is where we're going, with perhaps AI in the future, with rolling out of more of the Nikon Cloud, where you can connect this to a mobile device and send to your application. So you could send it to a server, you can send it to Dropbox, you can send it to OneDrive, you can send it to Adobe Cloud, so you don't have to import your images. Yes, really, really good. What else do I like about it? Supports GPS still with the GP1A, which are very rare. Check out my other videos about the GPS systems. And it has the memo note. The Z6 II and III has the memo note. I used to shoot a lot of sports with the with a D3S and a D5, and they have memo notes. And you press the button, and you can record an audio note as a sidecar file to an image. Why would you do that? Well, you're a press photographer or a sports photographer, you wanted to say who that person was, etc. You can record it against the file. And digital asset managers like Lightroom support that, and there's a little button that you can press plus or play in the library module, and it will play the audio file in Lightroom Classic. Well recommended. It's taken me 48 hours, but I do like it. One thing I don't like, they've moved this little lug here. On the Z6 II, it was pointing at an angle like this, so it doesn't fit or drop in front of the door. And it's a little annoying, but the door doesn't open fully. However, that doesn't bother me because I take those off, but it might bother some people. They have reduced the profile of the lug. With the 6, 7, 6.2 and 7.2, we used to catch it, didn't we? And it used to open. Well, with the 8 and 9, they put a little lock on it, or the 9, they put a lock on it. They've reduced that profile of that bump there, so you don't catch it so easy. Do like that. But they've moved this strap anchor point from at the top, pointing 45 degrees in, to on the side. And it gets in front of the door. That's a little annoying thing, but I'm splitting hairs. So my advice is, write a little note to Father Christmas. Please Santa, can I have a Z6iii? And I'm really waiting for the Z7iii, because I think now as the Z line matures and we now have 45 native glasses, native lenses, and there are obviously non-native lenses out there, and we're still waiting for the PCE and the fisheyes, and I'm waiting for the 200-400 f4 and a 200 f2, those obscure lenses that most people would hire. I really feel that the maturity of the range is now coming to light. The Z9, and hopefully they do a Z9H, which will be something like a 24 megapixel sensor, so for high action, fast, 1000 raw files. The Z8 is a companion to the Z9, smaller, lighter, but basically the same camera. The Z6 is low light videography. The Z5iii will be an entry point. It's not an entry level, an entry point camera. With the 7, I'm hoping they put a full frame 60-70 megapixel sensor within the camera, and therefore we've got clear definition between each individual camera. So having this form factor, this size, everything, because then you've got sensor scale, everything's the same. So it says 7, you've got a different sensor in there. It'll be a slower frame rate. So it's designed for product photographers, perhaps wedding photographers, perhaps landscape photographers. But it's 60 megapixels. So now we've got a 5 as an entry point, 24 megapixels. We've got a 6.2, low light, astro, wildlife, etc. for a more compact unit. We've got Z7iii, landscapes, we've got a Z8, which is a companion to the Z9, Z9, which is the flagship sports and rapid movement images, and then a Z9H, which will even be a faster for those sports photographers, so Formula 1, athletics, surfing, wildlife, that they need those 1,000 RAW files, not filling up the buffer. So that's my thoughts. Well recommend it. I've enjoyed this first 48 hours, and I would recommend going to buy one. So support your local camera store. Most of them do comparing the prices online, and think about support network. This is why I say support your local camera store, because you've got somebody to go and ask. I've got a problem with this, I've got a problem with that. Where the Amazons of the world, we're just making them richer for the sake of maybe saving £10, $10. But there isn't the support when we need it. I've got a problem with this, or is it my camera, is it my lens? They've got used lenses on the shelf. They can just take it off and plop it on your camera and say, ah, it's the lens problem, not a camera problem. And you can walk in there on a Saturday morning, and a lot of my local camera shops, I'll get a free cup of coffee while I'm chatting with them. Anyway, thank you for your time. I hope you found this helpful. Got lots of stuff coming up very, very soon on this channel. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Bye for now.